Clerk will read the bill.
House Bill 428, Election Law, Foreign Manufacturer of Election Systems, Notification and Termination of Contract. Favor report adopted.
Maker of the motion, gentleman from Covert.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I do have a couple of questions before I offer an amendment for the floor leader.
Floor leader.
Hello.
Thank you, Madam Speaker.
So my question is that it appears that currently a company that makes election systems has to be a company that is an American company. Is that correct?
They're required to notify the administrator if there is any foreign ownership interest
Okay.
in the company.
And then in addition to that, it looks like what this bill is doing, among other things, is it says that if there are components that go into the election equipment that are made overseas, in other words, the components, then the specific components of the election system that were manufactured outside the U.S., they have to be what?
So if any components are going to be manufactured outside the U.S., the provider has to notify the elections administrator. The administrator notifies a series of other state officials. That information is reviewed, and if there's a determination that it poses any risk, then the contract can be terminated.
Got it. Thank you. So, Madam Speaker, I do have an amendment at the desk. It is amendment number 693721/1.
Amendment number 1.
So much be considered the reading of the amendment, Madam
So
Speaker.
ordered.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. So, ladies and gentlemen, I do appreciate the intent of the bill. I just want to make that perfectly clear first. This bill, House Bill 428, which does indeed close some loopholes, about election equipment that we use here in the state when you go to vote. Basically, the bill says, hey, that equipment that you just scanned your ballot into, the person who makes that equipment, if you will, and sells it to the state of Maryland has to, if this bill were to pass, certify that any component in that equipment that is made outside the United States must be registered and certified and looked at very closely. Certainly that's an improvement to where we are today. So, Madam Speaker, this amendment is a very simple amendment because I think it really closes the loopholes that we see in equipment made overseas for our election machines. And the amendment simply says, look, every single component of the machines, including the machines themselves, must be made in the USA. Seems pretty straightforward. Look, guys, we are the world's oldest democracy. The idea that we're not making the machines and every component in the machines here in the United States is really silly. And I do honestly believe that all of us probably really do agree on this. It's a common sense amendment. Every component of an election machine must be made in America and by an American company. That's all this amendment does. It improves this bill, and also, more importantly than anything else, it really helps to restore confidence in our election system. That's a good thing. We all want that and need that. We want that and need that because we've heard folks over the years in different election cycles, some on the left who say something went wrong, and some on the right who said something went wrong. We have heard this. And here's an opportunity to finally, once and for all, fix this system in Maryland in such a way that every time someone goes to vote in person, that the machine, they can rest assured that the machine that they are using is one that was made in the USA, including all of its components, and that the machine was made by an American company. So, Madam Speaker, for all those reasons, I move this amendment. Thank you.
Floor leader.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Colleagues, I'm going to urge you to resist this amendment, and to the maker of the amendment, I want to thank you. I truly believe that your intentions here are good. I appreciate what you're trying to do. I appreciate that Congress tried to do that in 2019 with the SAFE Act, and unfortunately, they weren't able to pass it. And, you know, I believe that every election in America should be conducted on machines made in America. Unfortunately, Maryland alone does not have the market share to require where only 3 major manufacturers of voting systems manufacture their parts. So I would love the opportunity to work with you in a bipartisan manner to address this with our congressional representatives and try to fix it at the federal level. But what we can do within our purview as the Maryland State Legislature has to be something that we can implement. And we cannot dictate where a limited universe of manufacturers make all of their parts. So this amendment could make our election system procurement more expensive. It could make it impossible, okay? What this bill does is strikes a balance. What we can control. It requires notification so that specific sets of facts can be evaluated. Risk can be assessed and appropriate steps can be taken. Again, colleagues, I appreciate the sentiment here, but urge you to resist this amendment. Thank you.
Madam Speaker.
Maker of the amendment.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Certainly appreciate the kind words. Here's the thing. The United States Constitution delegates the states to run elections. So it's a little odd that we would say, well, let's have a federal takeover of elections without a constitutional amendment. That's not going to happen. It's just not. So what we can do as elected officials in Maryland is require that our machines are made in the USA and all the components in those machines are made in the USA. That's all this amendment does. It is a Made in America amendment. Makes perfect sense. Restores confidence in our election systems. Tells the people that we are listening, that we actually care, that we want to make things safer, that we want to make things more reliable, that we want to improve confidence. Now's the time to do this. If we pass this amendment, I can assure you there will be plenty of companies wanting to sell Maryland brand new machines, machines that are made in America, with all their components made in America. Plenty of companies will want to do that. Why wouldn't they? I mean, the contract that would be let, I'm sure would be worth probably tens of millions of dollars, if not more. But is that a price worth paying to improve election integrity? With the world's oldest democracy to say that now, once and for all, we're making machines in the United States of America for voting? That's a price worth paying. So, Madam Speaker, it's really this simple. A green vote for this amendment means you believe in a Made in America amendment for voting machines to restore confidence in our elections, and a red amendment means the opposite. Thank you.
Floor leader.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Colleagues, again, while I appreciate in concept and in theory what the maker of the amendment is saying, we have to deal with the practical reality of being able to procure voting systems and recognizing that Maryland does not control the market. This bill strikes the appropriate balance. This bill passed this chamber 129-0 last year. This amendment, while well-intentioned, is unnecessary. It is dangerous in providing a blanket prohibition, and I urge you to vote red. Thank you.
On the amendment, all in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed?
Roll call, Madam Speaker.
Roll call.
Madam Speaker,
Clerk will take the call. The amendment fails.